Hey guys, I'm going to talk about seagulls today, and I'm going to show you outside of my car. There's a ton of seagulls outside. So I wanted to talk about seagulls and the fact that you should be really careful around seagulls, and I'm going to explain why. I consider certain people seagulls. Seagulls are actually mean birds, and they have absolutely no good intentions when it comes to anything, to be honest with you. And I'm going to turn, it's so funny, I'm going to readjust. I'm going to readjust my camera. But anyways, I want to talk about seagulls and why it's so important to stay away from them. So, one thing you probably don't know about seagulls, although they look really nice and they wait outside your car for french fries and things like that, they have no good intentions. They are simply there. They're scavengers, and I consider them murderers. And simply because I know something about seagulls. I used to work with some USDA guys, and the reason companies call the USDA and other guys to clean these seagulls up is because they're so messy. And number two, seagulls will nest up on top of buildings, and you'll see a bunch of them nesting. And what they do is one seagull will go attack and kill the babies of another seagull. It's like a massacre. So you have to just, they get cleaned up, they get moved or whatever. So what I want to talk about are people that are seagulls and people that you might have in your life that shouldn't be there. I've talked about this before. I have one sister who is a seagull. She's just mean. Even though I used to go hang out with her and used to, she was in the hospital. I went to see her and I tried to maintain a relationship out of guilt. She has done, in the past year and a half or two and a half years, she has done some really cruel things. And the one thing she did is she continually supports my children and whatever it is, and just negativity and hate towards me. And the second thing she did is that the next thing she did, which was the straw that broke the camel's back, is that I've talked about this before, but she befriended my rapist. I found out she was talking with him before I saw him in court. So they became BFFs, supposedly. And then someone asked her, why are you talking with him and why are you doing this? And she said, well, her and I never got along. That was news to me. I'm like, okay. And then the next thing she did recently, a couple of months ago, because my now husband knows there's friction and knows what happened. And he said, what happened? What happened with your sister? I don't know what you're talking about. She sent him a message on Facebook and said, I'm a ticking time bomb, watch out. Like, oh my gosh. So seagulls are predatory and they're murderous and they kill. And there's just certain people that are seagulls. Certain people you think that you're on an even keel with, and you've been guilted into having a relationship because either your grandma says, oh, this is your sister or your mom or whoever. Stay away from seagulls. There's no need for them. Their sole purpose in life is to tear you and others apart for no good reason. I mean, granted, when there was an indiscretion in her relationship and I discussed it with her husband, that might have happened, and maybe I said something to her because I wanted to see if she would keep her big mouth shut. And she didn't keep her big fat mouth shut. So, prove my point. But these are people that will say, well, when you were 8 years old, you ate my cake. When you were 13, you talked to my best friend. Whatever you did 20 years ago, 30, 40 years ago. You could have, because her and I were like 10 and a half months apart. So maybe she says, oh, when you were 6 months old, you took my nookie. I remember she talks about what I did with her bike. I was like 8 or 10. But these are people who because they're so sick and they are so unhealthy. They will use any circumstance and any situation and any experience they've had with you to target you, to try to tear you down in order to rip you apart. They're just not good. They're not good. So all I wanted to talk about was stay away from seagulls. Don't throw them French fries. Don't throw them anything. Just stay away from them because they have no good intentions. If you know, it just never ever maintain a relationship out of guilt. Never maintain a relationship that is not reciprocal. Never maintain a relationship that don't make an effort. Let's stay away from that person. If they aren't making an effort, make an effort to be with someone who wants you to be in their life and who is able to come and see you, unless they're physically or mentally not able to come and see you because maybe, a person's in the hospital or, they just had surgery, whatever the case is. Stay away from seagulls. That's all I want to talk about. I hope this helps someone, and I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.